What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Heels episode 1 breakdown and review. Now, I had high hopes for this show mainly because Stephen Amell has been so consistent throughout his run on Arrow, and he has a high wrestling pedigree. Amell seems to give it all to every single role he takes, and I even enjoyed Code 9 as he could master the Salmon Ladder from Arrow and the American Ninja Course while playing Oliver Queen in Arrow. He also delivered a stunning in-ring WWE debut at 2015 SummerSlam alongside Neville against Stardust and the then King Barrett. It's interesting as Amell will then join arguably one of the most popular current wrestling factions, the Bullet Club, and also join Cody Rhodes, who he faced when he was in WWE's Stardust at the All Elite events. Amell is the real deal when it comes to wrestling and has seemingly taken inspiration from his wrestling mentor Cody Rhodes, as his character Jack Spade is following in his father's footsteps of running a wrestling empire, just like Cody Rhodes is honouring his father's Dusty Rhodes legacy by creating AEW. The DWL, the fictional wrestling company where Heels is set, is just like any other indie territory out there, albeit it seems a bit more like the classic territory days before the WWF, now E, juggernaut. It used to run the roost and is probably most like the National Wrestling Alliance or the NWA, which stood tall against all comers until Vince McMahon took over, who even gets name-checked by Jack. I was trying to see where the show was filmed too, as the set looks almost identical to Lucha Underground's first season. DWL is having tough times as Jack tries to drag it into 2021, where video clips are shared on Reddit and Twitter, which can mean more clout than a true wrestling story, which is sad to say, but Jack is actually holding on to his laurels. While his finger is very much on the pulse for the state of wrestling in 2021, one gigantic company rules supreme with a little competition here and there, with Dystopia Wrestling in the show also providing some struggles there for Jack, which is essentially an ECW knockoff. Back in the early 90s, wrestling was seen as pretty much stale, or should I say the early 90s, until Paul Heyman came along and got people to kick the heck out of each other with barbed wire and all manner of things. And of course, you had the WCW with the Nwo Boom. While it couldn't outlast a buyout, it did actually disrupt enough, and Jack was correct, as fans would turn off from ECW, as well, we only today get the occasional deathmatch shared online, albeit they were bought out there. The level of detail to wrestling knowledge and portrayal of the heels, the bad guys, and the faces, the good guys, is absolutely next level. I love how the brothers are the reverse, with Jack being the good guy but playing a heel, and Ace being the troubled, horrible guy while playing a face. DWL has struggled since King, the boy's father, killed himself, and Jack is a purist, trying to tell the story. Even if his brother is more popular, Jack understands that the story is needed, and even keeps kayfabe. Now, kayfabe is the illusion the story is real, and he doesn't show up at church and does other things because he wants people to think he is the bad guy that he is in the ring. Many wrestlers back in the day would be nasty to fans if they were a heel, an art that is sadly lost today, and might be why wrestling is unfortunately pretty stale. And unfortunately, we do have the smart fans who cheer the heels as so very entertaining at times. And it might be due to social media, with wrestlers being a lot more open today. Ace is desperate to win the title, which his father has held and his brother currently holds. But brother Jack wants longer form storytelling, which makes sense as he wants the fans to keep coming back. It's a central conflict for the whole episode, and is just as gripping as the in-ring stuff. Now, Ludwig is superb as Ace, as he comes from Vikings, which he was also great in. And I've not seen him in the Bad Boys kind of sequel, which I really need to check out. He has shades of the tortured heel, similar to the icon, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And he's also, like Michaels, bonking a valet, Crystal, who clearly knows more about wrestling than him and is downtrodden by Jack's business partner. She's put down by her, and valets are honestly a lost art, and Crystal clearly wishes to wrestle, which I hope kind of has a whole story going throughout the season, because it could also mirror the women's revolution that happened in WWE. He's going to be left behind by Ace, who is scouted for the big competition or the big leagues, as Wild Bill returns to town for the latest show. He is an old friend of their father, and well, he wants Ace, even though Ace doesn't really understand the business, but all the big leagues care about is the pops, which are the cheers from the crowd for the uninitiated. Wild Bill is a veteran wrestler who was scouted and left town. He's got a drug and drink problem, and it seems like he's a composite of Macho Man, Ric Flair, and even some sort of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which is also a reference to the father, whose trademark was a wooden 2x4. Now, Bill sows the seeds of discontent in Ace, who is clearly not ready for the big time, and while Bill mentions developmental similar to WWE's old FCW or the current NXT, he is probably better being under the tutelage of his brother, who he hates because, well, his brother rules with an iron fist. I really like this tension between the pair, but it seems odd that Ace is scouted so early. I wasn't expecting that, and I was hoping for a more kind of real reality or kind of drama around the whole wrestling ring. It's not Glow. Glow is very different to this, and I actually like both of them. I think they are both very great takes on the wrestling business. Now, Jack, in his anger at how Ace treats the public, acts and shows disrespect for the fans, has a dirty finish to the match, leaving Ace losing and booed. Granted, it would be weird if he won the belt then left, and that's just not how it's done, although it's been creatively done in the past with CM Punk many years ago. The authenticity makes this superb, as well as the two leads acting, which is absolutely on point. Seeing the undercards, I hope, would be a good thing going forward, and seeing some of these guys progress up the card. But this is a very strong opener. I love the mention of Ric Flair versus Sting, a legendary feud, and it seems WCW does exist in this world, and I'm very, very invested in seeing how much that new guy, that journeyman, will do in his heel turn. Now, CM Punk and Mick Foley are going to appear, and from what I understand, CM Punk will appear in episode 3. I'm very excited to see where this show goes next, especially with the ECW stand-in and the gripping family drama behind the scenes. But that is it for this video, so if you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like down below, do subscribe with notifications on, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.